What up, what up, what up? Let me change song, because this is all very, very Asian right now, maybe. We need that DMCA free stuff, though. Hello, everyone. Hello. For today's live stream, I was thinking about showing you guys around how to make trenches. I have different types of trenches. These are the natural embankments you can use, right? These are these things. They're pretty easy to use. You can kind of just use them as building material and then sculpt the floor in between them. There's also prefabs. This is from a mod. But yeah, every piece is a prefabricated bit of trench you can move around. You have to puzzle those together. And then also, a third type of trench is the vanilla ones, which are physics-based, and they move when you move the floor, which is not really anything you want. But yeah, it's all possible. For those who are interested in seeing the rest of the map, I can zoom out. You can see there's a lot of forest. There's a lot of trees. I did some work. Also, apartment buildings with stuff in them. Oh yeah, this looks nice. Maybe you've played in these before. They're used in multiple different servers. But yeah, they look really nice inside. You get a nice view of the outside. There's nothing out there though. Or at least not yet. Believe it's this door. No. No. The one with the peephole. That makes sense. This is the front door. Yeah, it's like an old apartment building. There's multiple floors. This one is the 12-story one, if I'm not mistaken. I just tried to put the biggest one in. You can get on the roof and hop to the other side. You know? You get some options to clear these from the bottom or the top. You could possibly land a helicopter in the middle here, if that's something you're into. As you can see, you got a nice view over. That's gonna be a fully like developed area full of rubble and buildings and stuff. Let me see. Here we go. I'm sorry if the stream is a little bit low bitrate. I'm trying to make my internet survive a little bit longer. But yeah, we'll have multiple blocks like this. Not exactly like it, but broken buildings, rubble. Also, there may be a hidden bunker here and there, you know, like this. This is a nice little dugout bunker. Let me show you the inside. Yeah, so this is like a little crater or whatever that they put a bunker in, so you can keep an eye on that side. You could possibly move up to this bigger crater and use this as cover. Of course, apartment buildings in the distance over there. Lots of windows. I'm sure you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with that. Let me hop back into the editor. I'll first show you guys all the new stuff I added, and then I'll kind of guide you through how I build the trenches. Feel free to skip ahead if you need it. So, first of all, we didn't have any trees in between this space, because, I don't know, I hadn't really defined the spawn areas yet, but now I have. One in this corner, and then obviously one on the opposite side. These trench areas, or these spawn areas, I should say, they're gonna be trenches, like a pretty large trench system with bunkers and stuff that you spawn in. Then once you spawned, you can get a vehicle and choose one of these 3 paths. Now these obviously go left, right, and center, but this is going to be the farmlands. I've built out a farm already right here. You got fields in the back. They're quite barren right now, but that's okay. Another farm, 3 fields, little crater in there, little crater action. Obviously some barns, some hay stacks and hay piles right here, just to fill it in a little bit for now. Nothing is permanent. Chicken coops, vegetable things. It's all coming along nicely. Fields with the little trees dividing it. We got fences going around. Yeah, it's starting to come along nicely. I also went over the roads to kind of edge off the grass. I don't know, just gives it a more natural look, I think. But yeah, farm, another farm. This is nice and defined now. I also put a little forest in here, little forest area. I might put some bunkers in here, or maybe a large building that is the main objective of this area. We'll see. It's all placeholder. Same thing with these apartment buildings. I put these in the same spot as the opposite side to keep things fair. But yeah, that might change over time. Also put some trees on the edges of the roads. Of course, I still need to clear those out for fallen branches. You know, I have to do this by hand every single time. Same goes for painting. Everything is done by hand, of course. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Then, of course, I finished these trench setups. Little crater here. And everything is dug into the ground. So let's get over to this building right here. This is the power station of the map. It's not barricaded off yet. It does have a helicopter crashed into the side, so that's nice. I blocked off the roads. Did a little road around that, so it looks natural. I actually added some more bushes to most of the bunkers. Which was, I mean, they look really, really barren in some points. It just, you know, it didn't make sense like that. For anyone that hasn't watched my previous video about the map, basically I'm making like a CQB, like a trenchy map right now. And these main ones you see right now are going to be the transporting trenches that get you to the front line, I should say. And then you'll have these networks branching off of it, like this. Now, of course, I could have just done like a straight line, but that, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I just started placing these. Started thinking about where I wanted to put dugouts. Right here. And another dugout right over here. Put some bushes over that. Put some tarp down. You know, some sandbags on the edges. And then it'll look pretty decent. None of this is finished, though. Just to be clear. None of this is finished. It's all ready to be play tested almost, though. If I finish this branch off all the way over here, this is the end point. And that's about 1 kilometer or 2, maybe. It's pretty windy. It's gonna be windy and full of multiple choices. So like right here, I made this a branch off. You can go left or you can go right. There's gonna be more of those which lead to like a little open area. Like right here, I was gonna put some sandbags, maybe a bunker, and then open up another branch of these trenches. Apart from that, I have a little roadmap on my Discord. The layout is gonna be locked in, I think, patch 0.2 or 0.3. Players should feel like they're in like an already used battle zone, you know? Stuff should feel a little bit overgrown. These trenches should feel a little bit older than the ones that have actual, like, proper walls on the side. And then also, you know, I still got to clear all these paths. Don't worry about that. I just got to worry about visibility. You know, because right now, if you look out of any of these bunkers, you basically see nothing. There's bushes. So I need to clear all these out. Make sure you can see that little walkway, which is, of course, blocked off for vehicles. What else did I do, man? I did a lot of stuff, but, you know, thinking back about it, it just doesn't come to mind. I guess you guys have seen this middle bit already. A little blockage, a little blockade for whoever wants to race towards the enemy spawn at Mach Jesus, you know. They're gonna hit this little bump right here, go over this, and then from here on out, if you're max speed in a normal car, even if you pull the handbrake, you're probably gonna slam into at least like a tree or one of these buildings, one of these vehicles. Now the thing with these is I left spacing, so you can navigate this with a basic car. Maybe like the big Chungus bike could fit through here. Same on this side. If you really want to, there's a little path. Or is it on the other side? Yeah, like right here, there's a little path you can go through for that side. It's not meant to be navigated, actually. But yeah, I could easily change that to fit whatever. I cleared this area because, of course, there's going to be a trench branching off of this into a little hill area. Like this hill over here is going to have trenches in it that end right here. I don't know how I measured this. I think I used like an old like satellite map with lines on it. I still have it somewhere. But yeah, let's go over into the actual trench building part. If you're just starting off and you're still just like experimenting with the whole building system, Control T opens your sculpting. This sculpt tool is the main thing that you're going to use to be able to bury your trenches and not have any clipping or, you know, anything sticking out. So let's get into that. If you want to build some stuff, I suggest you type in .et, which gives you the normal version of stuff that you can place, not just a structural object with no mesh. So .et, and then what are we looking for? The embankment, so embank, and the one I'm using right now is forest. This leaves us with basically 3 shapes that we can use. I'm gonna just paint this back into the normal dirt stuff just to have some better clarity. Otherwise everything is just gonna be green, which helps nobody. So let's say there's this little open area, right? We get out. I'm gonna put some bunkers down here, sandbags, whatever. The first one we can use is the wave. You have the forest turning. and the straight. Now what is the big difference? It's the shape of the inside here. As you can see, there's like a big U shape. This is pretty straight. And then over here, we have the straight bit with like an entrance, which looks pretty nice if you scatter it around enough, you know? But the main thing I'm going to use to build is this normal straight bit. So let's see, we got some space over here. I'm going to put down the straight bit. It's around the same height, so it should be fine, but you can always check by going in game and playing it. Just have a little test. That's honestly high enough for anyone sitting down, you know? Some cover. Maybe put some sandbags on top and you'll be invisible from both sides. So this height is fine for here. What I actually want to do, as you can see, there's this little hill over here. So I want this to go kind of straight up until here. So I'm going to paint this forest clearing. This is where I want to end up kind of for this turn. And an easy way to guide yourself is to draw zigzag patterns over there. And then make sure you follow those while you're building. Here we go. Something like this. You know, you don't have to follow everything 100%. You can kind of wing it, but yeah, this looks nice. Holding Alt while dragging something makes you duplicate it. And pressing E and holding Control while you turn it snaps it. So it's perfectly 100-degree turned. It's the same height, which is important for us right now. Now all you gotta check is the width, because you don't want these things to be too far apart. Otherwise they don't really, you know, they don't really feel like trenches if they're just like a massive gully. So I'd say this is pretty good. Maybe one thing to change is to tilt these a little bit, right? If you tilt this up a little bit, and this one as well. Move this around a little bit, maybe a little higher. All right. And let's test this to see if it's too high for our head or whatever. Basically, I don't want people to be able to stand up straight and not get domed, which, I mean, it feels like my head is right above it, so that's fine. To me, this is a good height. Now, all that's left to do is to click one of these, hold Control, click the other one, and then, like I said, you hold Alt, and you drag, and there you go. You're building trenches. Now, of course, I made a little turn here, as you can see. So, I'm just gonna turn this around a little bit, like that, and move it until it kind of makes sense, you know? It all has to fit, but it also has to kind of make sense, because you don't want straight, like too many straight lines, you know? Like, let's say you build a trench and it's just this, without this bump in there, these bumps, you know? You got a little open space here, you might put some stuff down. It kind of has to make sense first before it looks cool. Because people are going to call you out on it, for sure. People are going to be like, who the hell built these? No one in their right mind would build trenches like that. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see how this looks. The problem with making maps is there's a lot of this going back and forth. Because this looks fine, But back in the editor, it looked kind of too big, you know? But it looks fine in game, so that's good. This little dent actually blends in nicely. You don't have to sculpt anything around it. What you will have to do eventually is sculpt the back sides in. That's not too much work though. That's pretty doable. Yeah, back to the editor. Here we go. Put another piece in there to kind of make a sharp, or like a sharper turn, like this. Make sure the height is kind of the same, so it all makes sense. Again, I'm gonna do a 180 with the material and just turn it around and put it in a place that looks natural. There we go. Here we are. I'd say let's do that again. Flip it around. Oh. Flip it around. And here we are. Now this is not a massive section, but I'll just show you what it looks like if you would crawl through this. You'll have to check your corners and stuff. Lots of nades going off. I can only imagine the chaos right now. This is quite an open spot right here, because you can look all the way down there. So to fix that, I would put sandbags right here, make a little wall, block off these sidelines. You have to think about your own survival when you build these. It's fine to just build a system, like a trench system first, and then be like, where would I put sandbags? Or if I were right here, I can look all the way over there. That's not a good thing. Let me block that off. Alright, let's say this is your trench system, right? You only want to do like a little turn and that's it. That's cool. So let me show you how to finish this off so it doesn't look like an open object for some reason, you know? People are going to catch these really fast if you don't fill them in right. Control T to sculpt. Holding control and moving your mouse up and down makes it so you can change the scale. The strength right here, I wouldn't put too high. I'm going to put it at 3, and that's pretty... it's pretty drastic. Fill it all in. Only the backside, right? You don't need to sculpt the whole thing. So you fill in until these shadows of the object disappear. That's a pretty good giveaway that you filled in enough. Just as a reference, this trench is like, I don't know, what, 20, 30 meters? I've done about 4 kilometers of this already. With prefabs though, but still you have to draw in the backsides and all that. So you just keep filling it in with the sculpting tool. Sides as well, probably on this side. Because the... oh no, that fills in nicely actually. Nice. Alright, now something else you want to do. Because there's this big old gap right here. I mean, like a big old... a random hill. This doesn't feel like a trench. It feels like a man-made mountain, right? So what you do is you sculpt up the back a little bit as well. Alright, so there's a little bit of stuff behind it. Not like a perfect staircase, but you get the idea. And then on the right here, there is a smoothing tool. I believe the strength on 1, the size down a little bit, and just hit in between until it all smooths out. You might have to undo this a couple times and save it, and just click the edges here until everything looks smooth and no shadows are showing off the embankments. Like right here, you can still look through it. Go back to the sculpting tool, sculpt this up until it disappears. Alright. See the sides? You need to keep an eye on everything. It's best to like perfect this right now so that you don't have to go and redo every single trench, you know? Because that's that is super time consuming. Now, we're gonna go over this with the smoothing tool again to the side. Maybe use a bigger smoothing tool. Here we go. It's Mr. E-Tool. What's up, man? If there is melee in the... Oh, by the way, yeah. I need to tell you guys something. This Discord page is a Discord page for Theater of War. Now, Theater of War is a game mode that the crafty people over here are making. Let me see. If you watch Arma Pilot, by the way, Theater of War has been featured on his latest video, so definitely go check that out when you have time. They explained the whole mode, which is basically it's very similar to King of the Hill, but it also has like a stash system, and you have to go into the battlefield and then extract out of it. You can mark landing zones for pilots and stuff. It's crazy, all right? Roadmap is coming after the alpha test, blah blah blah. I wanted to show you, like right here, he's working on guns. Like the P90 looks, look at this. All right. Yeah, there's a class system. I think I've shared this this picture. Yeah, like I don't know if you're subscribed right now, but I did a lot of polls asking people what they wanted for my server, and this mode aligns with it like 90% of the time. So I'm very stoked to say that I would be absolutely... I don't even know the word for it in English. I'd be super happy to host this mode. But, since it's a smaller map, it's kind of, you know, hosting this mode with helicopters and, you know, all that stuff might not work. So, it might have to be like a infantry-only version. Still with cars and stuff, but yeah, like imagine the spawn right here is gonna be a big trench system, and then out of the bushes, you know, I just put some bushes here. You can spawn your vehicle in this area and drive out of the bushes into the battlefield, and then you can use the trench systems to get to objectives. You can kind of, you know, get your stash going. Honestly, I would just watch this, where is it? This video right here. I would just go watch that. Also, if you're on my Discord and you look at one of these announcements, This one right here. You can join their Discord. It's got a lot of people on there recently because they are doing a playtest for their game, or for their game mode, I should say, July 5th, 9 p.m. CET. So I don't know what that is in your personal time zone right now, but 9 p.m. CET on July 5th, they're opening their playtest server. And if all goes well, it'll be... I mean, from what I've seen from the video, I don't want to play it right now because I really don't like reaction channels and all that stuff, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, definitely check out their video. He explains basically everything that they've built so far. There's vehicle repair stations. I've also seen like he's at a certain point he flies over a red flare and you see enemies down there, but it's AI. So there's like a PvE aspect to it as well. There's a bit of everything for everyone, you know? Yeah. Oh, you're in my Discord. Nice. Saw this pic with the classes. Yeah, definitely check out their Discord. I'm gonna be there July 5th as well, recording and you know, having some fun, testing out the server, balancing the class system, you know, all the possible bugs or just, you know, feedback or whatever. I'll definitely be there. But yeah, what was I doing? Oh, I was sculpting, right? My favorite job I've been doing for the last 3 weeks. God. But yeah, very stoked about that mode. I hope they do really well, because it looks and sounds like they've put like thousands of hours into it already. I think one of the developers said he put 500 to 800 hours into the mode already. And then he hit me with I'm not even close to finished, and I was like, oh damn. Damn. But yeah, they're pouring their heart and soul into this for sure. I hope the player base responds with love. But judging from their Discord, they're getting a lot of love already, which is really nice to see. I hope their hard work pays off fast. Once they have their data from their playtest, I'm sure they can kind of like adjust to whatever people want. Because if they see that people are only using the medic class or, you know, something like that, then they can probably adapt that pretty fast to give another class a bigger buff of some sort. Smooth. There we go. Sculpt. There's a lot of back and forth sculpting and smoothing. This has been my life for the last weeks. Alright, so now all of this is sculpted. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. Now something more important. Painting. I'm gonna paint grass over all of this, and then right here. Paint grass. There we go. And then you're gonna go into these the little walkable area and just do this by hand. Make it very small scale, or a little bit bigger. What is this music, brother? Are we This is like smooth jazz. uh, it's so hard to find music that is not copyright protected for some reason. YouTube has like an audio library, but man, there's nothing good on there. If you look for like no copyright stuff on there, all you're gonna find is like classical Beethoven and stuff, which is not bad music, honestly. It's good music. It's popular for a reason, but yeah, not my cup of tea, man. All right, so we have this little area built out. Let's run it. Let's run it from front to back. Let's go. Of course, this is gonna be a lot more like barren compared to the stuff I've already dressed up, but yeah. I'm trying to get the map ready for patch 0.1, which is gonna probably not be a playtest of any kind. I'm gonna... Oh, one sec. I'm gonna try and keep the playtests for when I have the actual layout set in stone. This looks decent though, in my honest opinion. I am tooting my horn the whole time, I know. But yeah, this looks fine. Everything is, you know, you can navigate through everything. If you'd set these too close to each other, you know, and you'd have to walk on the sides, you'll be constantly like running over it on accident. So you have to leave enough space in there. Artists like Whitey. Oh, the music, yeah. There used to be, like, I remember a time where you can just upload whatever you want. And the artist would probably be like, oh, dope, he's using my music. And now it's like, oh, dope, I can make money off of him using my music. Which is so backwards. But yeah, that's a little trench section. It's not too bad, you know. It's pretty barren, but that's easy to fix. Then also something that maybe you guys think of this instantly, but oh, thank you, man. Thank you for the props. But yeah, let's say you want to fill this in a little bit more. The editor is real easy to use. Like, let's say I want a forest area. You can hand place all the trees if you want to, but it would be much easier to just hit V, click a new polyline, then you click somewhere, you move this around, you hold control while you left click to add new points. Let's say I just want to make this circle a forest. I would go down to prefab library, then pick a generator. Then in your brushlands, you can put brushland dense, which would fill this up randomly. You could also click on forests. These trees I use a lot. They're the wind fallen ones, which have like fallen trees on the ground, which looks really nice. And then if you wanted an actual forest like this one, I use the mixed birch pine, and that fills it up nicely. Now the problem with these trenches is that the game doesn't see them as an object, so it's gonna place like random trees inside spaces that shouldn't. It's gonna have those fallen trees fall on top of it, which is actually pretty nice. But yeah, you're gonna have to hand delete all these bushes inside and all the trees, all the shrubbery, you know, and those like baby pine trees and stuff, which might not be what you want to do, right? So I'm gonna show you what that's like if you use prefabs. So let's, instead of the embankment, just type in Trench. The normal game has a couple set of like pre-made trenches. Some have metal in them, some have, like right here you can see they have like these metal plates on the side that look really nice. Let's say you have a couple of these, right? Let's say you make a whole trench system, and then you're like, I like this, but I want to put trees around it. So you do the same thing with the polyline. Trenches, trees around it. If I then go to the generator, prefab library, generator, forest, mixed birch pine. It's gonna still mess it up somehow. But what you can do is select it, and then on the right here, there's this drop-down menu. It says avoid objects, avoid roads, avoid rivers, the whole shebang. I'm gonna click regenerate entire forest. And then it will mind the objects. Now, why didn't anything change? Well, because the pre-made trenches are absolutely wank. That's right. Don't use the vanilla trenches if you want to do trenches. Let me tell you. These are horrible. Alright, if I sculpt below these, they're gonna move up, which is not what you want, right? If you want to sculpt out the edges of these, you'll move the objects up, which is it's so counterproductive. It's not even funny. But there's a fix for that. I have a mod called Ukraine Trenches. Oh, would you look at that? It's prefabs, but wait. But they're actual like road objects. They also take the texture of the thing below them, so that's nice. You can properly paint these with textures. But yeah, let's say we put like loads of these down. If you would then paint a polyline around them, then go back to your generators. Generators. Forest. Let's say we do the mixed birch pine again. Because we have these things all selected, avoid objects, avoid roads, avoid rivers, it will not build anything inside. Like right there, this is like the edge, right? So it's gonna... But it's not gonna build anything inside of those. Same for the splines. Let me show you what I mean. If you build a forest, like let's say this is a lot bigger. Let's say we got a little forest area going on here. If I then build a road going straight through that, generators, roads, dirt, forest road. As you can see, it lifts up the terrain. It like goes straight through the trees. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't care. So we click the forest on the left, adjust height map on the right. You deselect that, and that already fixes the terrain. Now we go back to this forest. As you can see, it's mixed birch pine on the right. Avoid objects, avoid roads, avoid rivers, regenerate entire forest. Bam! It'll stay a bit away from your road in the middle here. So that's something you can use on the prefabs as well, because it'll keep the bushes out and it'll keep the trees out. With the wind fallen trees, you're always gonna have to hand do it, because a tree might spawn here and then fall this way, which I have left in some places. You know, some places need trees over the trenches. But in places like this, it actually, you know, clears it up real nice. Then something you also never have to forget to do is to paint back over the road, because the grass texture underneath is gonna look goofy as hell in game, because it's green road. Here we go. Now this place looks pretty barren. That's because there's no bushes in there. So let's put brush in there as well. Do the same thing. Avoid objects, avoid roads, tracks, lakes. You can pick whatever. And then regenerate. And now if we test this... Oh, this looks pretty decent, right? The grass looks a little bright, but that's because my satellite map is just bright right here. That's just how the editor looks, as you can see. I have like places where it's darker, places where it's lighter. Yeah, those are just for me. Like the grass is just as green on this side as it is on this side, I promise. I know the grass is always greener on the other side, but that's not true. Alright, Arma proves this. Myth busted. And so that's how you do little trench systems. Now you can build one massive one, like I did, with the prefabs, which is... I mean, it's tedious, right? But it's one of the easier ways to do it. The tedious bit is that you have to, like at these edges, you're gonna have to line them up by hand, which these are not perfect, obviously. There's a little gap up here. You can close these off with like barrels or sandbags to hide the little nooks and crannies. But yeah, eventually your trench is gonna look like this. This is under the trench. This is just like badly dug out stuff, but the edges look nice, and that's all that matters. But yeah, your trenches are gonna look like that when you start off, and then eventually you're gonna have to dress them up a little bit, you know, add some sandbags, add some wood, these Hesco bags are really nice. They're from Z's Military Props, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here, Hesco. He's got concrete barriers, Hesco, there's barrels in there. There's a lot of stuff in here that I'm probably never going to use, but, you know, a couple things. And you get your basic, like, dressed up trenches. Now, of course, not a lot of trenches are going to go in a straight line like this forever. So I'm planning on, let's say right here, I'm going to put down a little trench, not perpendicular, but like horizontal. Another one here, another one on the left side. There's bunkers at the ends, so there's always, you know, there's always the next bit of cover to get through. I don't want this to be like an open, barren, like the farmland that I built. Right, let's say you're over here, you spawn here, or you arrive there by a helicopter drop or a vehicle drop off. There's not a lot of cover here, so it's gonna be hard to get all the way over there and survive it somehow. So maybe this would be more like a vehicle-y area to play. Or, what I could do is add some storytelling elements. Stuff like over here. Right, let's say a big old bomb went off here, so there's a crater now, which adds some natural cover. it's kind of man-made, but also kind of natural, I guess. And yeah, a lot of tree lines to help with, I guess, sight lines, mostly. Also, a lot of, like right here, there's a big old hill, because there's a spawn area right over here. And I don't want people to spawn and be able to like see the first cap, or like let's say you make it to the road, there's a hill right here, this is like a height point, and then there's another point that's a bit higher over here, just so you don't get to, you know, spot the enemy from spawn. The map is 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers, by the way, so it's not the biggest, but it allows me to cram in a lot of detail that way. It is pretty symmetrical right now, because that's the way I set it up. I like drew it out on a piece of paper before I started. But this is gonna be the little farmland. Right, all these are gonna be farms and fields and stuff. Then over here is gonna be residential. And then over here is going to be industrial. So one team spawns closest to industrial, and they have to move to this little residential area. And the other team is going to spawn closest to this farmland, and they're going to have to push over here to industrial. There's also a dirt road that goes to the little town, not industrial. Big old dig out in the ground with a broken chopper would work in the farm. If there are any broken chopper models. Oh, let me show you something, my guy, if you like broken choppers. Someone crashed their helicopter in here. Now I still need to clear this, but it used to be clear. I just added a couple things to the forest. But yeah, if I clear this out, I can show you what I mean. Yeah, the thing is, I thought of everything, right? Like, this is the impact point, and then I regened this forest last night, I think. But yeah, this was like its little impact zone. And then I can like bend trees out of the way so it looks like it crashed into trees and stuff. But yeah, this is like the road that it dragged on the floor while flipping and losing its blades and stuff. And then it ended up here, which is the power station. So this map does not have any power, as long as, I mean, as far as I'm concerned. Which is a good lore reason for me to not have buildings with a lot of power. What I am planning on doing is connecting this to, like, how do you say it in English? Like, electric poles. Am I making sense? Yeah, like the poles that carry wires with electricity, you know what I mean. I'm gonna have to add those around the map as well, in, like, logical spaces. You know, it has to go from the power station to residential, power station to industrial, then follow the main road probably, and then over here to this side, and then also over here. Yes, telephone poles. Apart from that, I don't have a lot of broken vehicles. Like right here, I have like a tank that's half in the ground, and then the top got blown off all the way over here with a little dirt road heading up to it. I need some like storytelling elements to the map for sure. I also have a spot with this LAV that tried to make it over a barricade and on the other side, but it just didn't. I believe I have a crater here with like random vehicle parts in it. So there are some spots that definitely got hit very hard. But I would love to add, like, let's say the side of this hill is gonna be filled with like smaller craters. Not these big ones, because these are kind of like dump holes, right? If a bomb this size went off next to the thing, it would probably be gone. Like, let's be realistic about this. It would probably be gone, and like all the trees would be like tilted over, you know, which kind of, I mean, that looks nice if you're standing here and there's like a tree tilted over. These trees are already tilted a little bit. But yeah, I would have to dress up the whole thing first and then do these. Like, I did this already. Slightly. If you don't know about it, you probably wouldn't know this, but, yeah, I'm lucky that we can just generate a forest and then edit any tree or bush or whatever I want. And then some of these trenches, like, this was a long straight bit, which is the dumbest thing anyone can do in a trench. But I thought, you know, why not? The server is called the 69th Motorized Dingus Division, so there's bound to be a fucking moron in there somewhere that would have built it like this. Or maybe I can put some machine guns on the side and have it be like a firing line. It depends, you know. If someone comes up with a nice idea, I'm always willing to add it. Like right here is a big crater. Planning on putting sandbags around this. Like this used to be a base and then it got blown up, which goes into the trench system. That's gonna be full of like little dugouts like this with a sleeping bag and a little mattress, maybe some cardboard. I could put some, like this is a trash pile that's like half submerged under the ground, but can put some bullets in here, maybe put a box of ammo in there. There's a lot of stuff that you can add to these as dressing, but yeah, just keeping it kind of basic right now. This was kind of a bridge that went over this, that collapsed. I don't know, it looked nice when I started building it. It looked like it looked normal. And then the inside is just logs, wood. It's called a duck board. Yeah, these are duck boards. I don't know what that means, but it makes sense now. And I can have multiple places like this with a fallen tree inside. This was just random, by the way. I didn't place this here, but it looked nice since it was like dug out here and then it fell. You know, it makes sense, kind of. A broken dugout, not finished yet. And then our little trench. Little bit of trench. I'm gonna probably just extend this out further because this is way too short of a bit of trench. But yeah, put sandbags over here. I'm very sorry, boys, but I have to translate everything in my head before I say it, and sometimes my mouth is too fast for my brain. Does that make sense? I know I probably sound American, but I'm from Belgium, man. It's, my brain is working overtime right now. To anyone that just hopped in, that hasn't seen this yet, this is the map I'm making, and I'm possibly collaborating with someone that does the mode. If you've watched Arma Pilot for a while now, he has a new video up about a new game mode that is going to be huge for pilots. Now, if you're a pilot or not, doesn't matter. This game mode is going to be super dope. Custom classes. I can already see a noob tube under the assault guy's gun. I also see an AN. Is that an AN? No, that's an AK. But still, AK with rails. Modern gear, modern looking guys. This guy has an RPG, which is gonna... I mean, my sandbags are not explosive proof, alright? as of right now, and I don't really plan on changing this right now, but I could in the future. If you drop like a massive bomb on this place, then the sandbags are gone. There's no infinite sandbag that can withstand like 50 RPGs, alright? I don't like that idea. I want to kind of keep it destructible. If I do notice in playtest that these get destroyed too fast, then I'm probably either gonna just copy the whole thing and double it up, or make it invincible. Because, I mean, it would be dope to like shoot out a single piece just to get in, you know, or to break the barbed wire that I fucking hand placed everywhere. It's gonna suck to watch people destroy this whole thing. But then again, that's the point, you know? I want people to be able to say, oh, we should destroy this corner right here, and then we can hop in and leave the rest. I don't want engineers to destroy every single bit I placed, but I can imagine if you're over here and you see this line of sandbags that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna yeet a rocket right in there just to see what happens. Some tents, you know, a little bit more overgrown bunkers. I have to clear this out a little bit more probably. But yeah, a lot of bushy bunkers with ashtrays. If any of you don't know about Theater of War, the game mode I just talked about, definitely go check out Arma Pilot's video. And then if you're in my Discord, you can go over to this post here in announcements, and then if you click on this button, you can check out their Discord. They have a lot of, let me show you. In their announcements tab, they have like some sneak peeks at the guns. They have sneak peeks at the rules of their actual game mode. Like, I suggest you watch the video because one of the devs explains perfectly how the mode is gonna work, how the vehicles are gonna work. There's different zones actually, like a zone where your helicopter does 0 damage. Definitely watch the video. I don't want to watch the video because I don't really like reaction channels, so that I don't really support that at all. But watch this video for sure. Just watch it right now or watch it later for sure. It's definitely worth it. Now imagine this mode being used on this map. Maybe a smaller scale version of the mode, you know. I don't think attack helicopters and you know, all that stuff is, it might be a bit excessive because they're gonna lift off here and then be like bam, they're right there, they're already here. This is the middle of my map. Also, the name I've chosen for now is right here. Let me, ooh. It's in the Arma Enfusion showcases as well if you're on the Arma Discord. Perekrestia, which means crossroads, basically, because the middle of my map is crossroads. The invincible sandbag thing on WCS and UNN servers is because the vanilla bags cause a lot of server lag. We managed to use the vanilla bags one day on UNN. I got a strip torn off. Got a strip torn off me by an admin. You killed server FPS? Well, I still haven't tested any of that, but you know, you need sandbags though, right? There's no real substitute. Even these camouflage ones, they look pretty nice. But yeah, I'll have to see what the server performance is like. Obviously for me it's fine because I'm playing this locally, but I have around 140 FPS on most times that I try playing my own map. Right now it's 117, 115, around 100 I'd say. 108. Depends where you're looking. Like if you look at a place with a lot of buildings, it's obviously gonna tank it a little bit. Lots of foliage as well. I am running an i9 9900K with a 4070 Ti, so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of different. Try breaking them. I need an RPG or something. One sec. Just put down an arsenal, I guess. Weapons. USSR. Is this gonna fill it up, or am I gonna get an empty box? Curious. Yeah, empty box. I'm gonna have to put down an actual RPG. Alright. Sorry, I just don't want you to have to rip a bunch of shit up. No, I understand. This is the launcher with a rocket. That's nice. Let's try it. It's okay if it explodes, honestly. If it breaks the sandbags, that's fine with me. I don't care about that. I just don't want people to... How do I say this? I don't want people to be playing like a battle bit, you know? I don't want everything to be destroyed. Well, I don't know if that's good or not. I mean, I hit it right at the top, so... Maybe I should just... I mean, he's gonna make a custom version of the game mode. I don't think he's gonna restrict RPGs, because they play kind of a big role. He also has like a level... Or they, I should say they. It's Kitty and Quint, if I'm not mistaken. They also have a, like a stash system and a way to buy guns at spawn, even though it's like you pick a class and then with the money that you earn in game, you can upgrade your weapons and stuff. It's a very deep system. I did watch the whole video, but honestly, I forgot some stuff already. But yeah, like right here, the medic. Threat level moderate. Medics are fearless frontline lifelines, combat-ready caregivers who rush into danger to keep their squad standing. Basically, medics, let's say they heal you twice as fast. But they are locked to a certain specific set of guns. So you can kind of pick your class, but upgrade your weapon after that. Heat? You want me to try heat rounds? Damn. I don't think I can choose rounds like that in here. Let me see. Let me put this... No, not the one with the scope. Good night, man. Thank you for stopping by. You can't park there. Can't park there, sir. Fuck. Where did I drop this? Let's see. Maybe I just hit it in the wrong spot, you know? You know how RPGs are. I think we're good. I know for sure that it sends shrapnel through the... Yeah, see? That... I love that. It should not destroy something in the first shot, but it should send shrapnel through. Especially an RPG versus some sandbags. I mean, it should at least damage the guy behind. Well, by the way, thank you for stopping by, Floppy. I appreciate the company. And you other guys out there as well. I can see there's a couple viewers. You don't have to chat. It's fine if you just want to lurk. No problem. All the lurkers are welcome. I'm fine with talking to myself like a dingus for the next... Oh, I'm already done, actually. I only planned on doing like an hour-long stream, but... maybe if I find some other stuff to talk about. I wrote some stuff down. Yeah, some stuff that's interesting for people that want to play the mode or the server once the server is up. July 5th, they are doing a play test on Theater of War server. I'm not sure how long the playtest will be, so July 5th, 9 p.m. CET. That's the time frame. I think it's like an hour or two maybe just to test stuff. I'm not sure though. It could be longer, but definitely make sure you get there early just so you know you have access, because it's just one server. So it's 128 players, I'm guessing, and that's it. Full is full, and I don't think anyone is going to leave the round anytime soon once it's full. I'm going to definitely be there. I'm probably going to be there for at least like an hour or so. I want to get some footage of the map and see how the mechanics work and, you know, see how it all vibes. But yeah, apart from that, I was going to talk about mod dependencies, because I know you guys on console out there, you got mods, but you're limited to 25 gigabytes, which may sound like a lot, but I'm sure if I show you my Arma folder, it's a lot bigger than 25 gigabytes. The mod itself, or the game mode itself is probably not gonna be 25 gigabytes, so I'm pretty sure I could use some mods for the map itself, like the trenches I'm using, the military props, and then the Eastern European assets, which are these apartment buildings. But yeah, I'm trying to keep the map as low gigabyte as possible. I don't want you to have to download 10 gigabytes of a map and then like 15 gigabytes for the game mode, and you know, you've already reached your limit. So I'm trying to keep it as low as possible, but it's yeah, it's not simple to do, because if you don't use a bit of variety, like I've used every single sort of trench so far, but these sides are all gonna be these embankments. They have to look a bit different, right? Otherwise it's too uniform. If they all just look like this, it's gonna probably require massive amounts of dressing up. So minimal dependencies, you know, the trench mod, the apartments. I honestly don't want any unnecessary mods, just because, you know, console players are honestly not the priority for the mode. But I'm sure there's a lot of you that would enjoy playing the mode on console. Those of you interested in playtesting this map right now, that's gonna be impossible. I'm not making a playtest version of this exact version of the map. The playtest version will have this section finished with trenches. Same for the other side. This section will be finished with trenches. Opposite sides of the map as well, right? This is going to be finished out with trenches. So will this side. And then also I want to have the base layout for these like industrial and farmlands, and then the residential zones as well. I want to put down like the base houses Not necessarily already broken and rubbled, but, you know, enough to be able to navigate it all. And then on this side, probably some fields. Same goes for the opposite side, of course. This side is going to be pretty open, so maybe some fields, maybe a radio tower or a sniper tower. I'm open to feedback, boys. Whatever you guys feel like doing, I'm okay with building it, probably. The spawn areas have to be built out as well. I don't want to just launch this as a game master mode and have 0 trenches at spawn. And I think that's it. Spawns, roads, layout has to be locked. If I'm at the stages where I'm just like, oh, I need to dress everything up, then I'll make a playtest version. That's going to be a while, though. I put my hours in that I've already done into a AI bot. And then I also told it, like, I want to have this feature, and this took a certain amount of time, and that took a certain amount of time. And it gave me a deadline of 8 weeks. So yeah, it could take 8 weeks to even get a playtest version, or it could take 8 weeks to have a 1.0 and have the server up. It all depends on how much free time I have, and you know, all the YouTube stuff I do and all the other projects I have, because I have about 3 different projects I'm working on right now with different people. You know, I also have my private life, you know, my free time that I have to do something other than this, which is usually just ride a bicycle somewhere and sit there and then ride it back home, which is a weird hobby, but it's fun, I guess. Depends on the weather. Right now it's like 30 degrees Celsius, which is about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, not a lot of free time chilling with nature. It's all a bit busy. I also need to clean the roads, you know, paint all the grass out of it, because this is too much. This is like post-apocalyptic overgrown street, which is not what I want. All right, I want it to look like this. They're like sticks and stones on the road, but nothing blocking you, no grass. How many hours? Well, let me show you. As you can see right here, Reforger tools, right now I'm at 97 hours. Honestly, the first like 10 hours I was following a tutorial and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And it looked like, I mean, I took the height map from around my house. So yeah, if you want to know where my house is, it's right here. This is my house. This height bit of the height map was my house. Now I did edit a lot of stuff to block sight lines and stuff. You know, you don't want to just have a flat plane. Like right here, this is all too flat. I'm gonna have to change some of this. I put a little hill in here to just have something, you know. But yeah, Belgian height map, not a good idea. It's super flat everywhere. We don't even have a single mountain in Belgium. I think it's all just hills. But yeah, you start with like a basic height map. You actually have to, like right here, you actually have to like import a height map. You have to do that. Most people just take like a bit of either Ukraine or Poland or Russia or Afghanistan or, you know, Fallujah. People have made a lot of stuff. But you have to use a height map, and then you also have to use this like green stuff, which is a satellite map. Now the satellite map that I used first was my hand-drawn stuff that I used paint to draw stuff out. It was all the right scale. So the things like the roads, those are drawn out, or the edges of the towns, those are all drawn out by hand, and I just traced them in game. And that's how I got with the symmetry and all that. But yeah, that was like the first couple hours, like the first 10 hours, I think, was just spent messing around trying to learn what all the buttons up here do. And you know, there's not a lot of tutorials out there, so I thought I might as well just do a stream where where I explain how to do the trenches. Last stream was kind of, you know, I don't get like thousands of people, but it was fun. What type of map are you going for? Out in the middle of nowhere in the wild, or something else? Honestly, I don't have like a location set. This is not in Russia or Ukraine or whatever. The name is the Ukrainian translation of the word crossroads. So I have it. Перехрестя. I don't know. I asked AI a good name to translate into my map for that, and that came out. But yeah, like I said, it's not really based on any real world location. It's just me drawing it up at work in my my free time at work. No, I'm really busy at work usually. No, I'm always thinking of YouTube stuff, and you know, the map idea it just came to me at work, I guess. How many hours in Arma? I'm about to surpass my Arma hours with my Reforger tools hours, I think. Yeah, 159 in Arma. And like 100 hours ago, I completely stopped playing Arma, and this has been consuming me. Because normally I was going to upload a video today. The script is done, the voiceover, it's all cut out. I just need footage. But the problem was, I wanted to start recording, and it was like 4 a.m. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to do something else then, I guess. And that's why the live stream. If you see me do a live stream ever, it's because I did not finish the video for that Saturday. It's it's not because I'm lazy, honestly. I've been busy doing a lot of stuff. Just not focusing on one specific, you know? It's very hard for me. I have like 4 things I'm doing at once, and then I can't focus on a single one of them, so I just do bits of it here, and then I switch to something else, and I just start dressing up the trench with the vehicle right here, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, the town, I need apartment buildings, and then I just start looking into that, and just, you know, it's a lot of stuff. But like this area, I'm really happy about. I still need to add a lot of rubble, but I'm pretty happy about this. Also, the spawn area and like the roads and stuff, I'm pretty happy about those. They all look pretty nice. It's just, I need to get like the grand layout set in stone. By the way, all these forests are all generated. There's no, I'm not hand placing any of these. So will you fight enemies in certain places or all over the map? I don't know how Arma works. Well, the thing is, it depends. I'm making a map, and then people can add whatever game mode they want. So there is a spawn on this side, right? This is one spawn, and then on the opposite side of the map, there's another. Right here. But apart from that, I'm not doing anything about the game mode. So if I release this map when it's finished, and I'm like, here's a base version, boys, have fun. Then if someone makes a team deathmatch mode, they can just add team deathmatch, put the team deathmatch spawn here, put team deathmatch, like a vehicle spawner or something over here, and then that's the mode. If some team gets 300 total kills, they win, you know, all that stuff. That's all for the guy that makes the game mode. I'm just doing the map. The main selling point of the map is that there's a lot of people that want to play trench warfare, but there's, like, let's say you have this massive map and there's only like 100 meters of trenches on one of the objectives. The trenches look dope. I think trenches look really, really cool in every single map that has them, but there's not enough of them, you know? My map, like right here, this bit is about 1 kilometer of trench, and then this one as well. Another kilometer right here, and another one right here. So that's 4,000 meters of trenches just on one side going north to south. I have 2 of those, so that's 4. And then also the trenches that go off to the side. This part is also around 2 kilometers, but since it's bendy, I'm just gonna say it's 2. So that's 2 over here. Other side as well, 4. And then 6 and 8. So in total, I will have 8 kilometers of trench warfare. Modern times, yes, exactly. So 8 kilometers of trenches, and then all the towns and cities are gonna either look like this, or like, where is it? There's a broken, yeah, like these broken buildings, burnt out and busted up, and then maybe put some sandbags in here on the windows so people can kind of, you know, pretend that it was a fortified location. I already have something like that in place where there's this factory that I've put a dugout next to. So it kind of looks like, you know, this place went down, but people are still like trying to survive it, you know. Modern times for sure. This the guy that created the mode. Where's the picture? Yeah, he's making sights and stuff. I mean, there's gonna be a little bird that has a smoke launcher. There's a lot of custom stuff. But yeah, he has like pre-made classes. They look amazing. Modern stuff, modern weapons, modern vehicles. I'm sure you can find an old AK in there somewhere, you know, but most stuff is gonna be very, very new, very modern. Yeah, this is just like a proof of concept, kinda. Like, this is just one block that I did. I'm gonna make this one the same, and all the way over here, all of these are gonna be broken buildings and apartment buildings and all that stuff. This is gonna be residential. And on the other side, this is gonna be industrial, so a lot of factories and stuff like that, broken stuff. Another residential area, and then this is gonna be farmland, which I've already got a couple farms in. The fields and all that, you know, a big crater in the fields. I still need to dress a lot of stuff up, but like right now you got hay hay bales, little chicken coop. Yeah. It's looking pretty decent for the amount of work. I think most maps take multiple hundreds of hours just to get the layout right, you know. I'm glad I started on a small scale map. If I knew all the stuff that I know now, I would have started even smaller. Abandoned factory? Factory skate? There's no skate parks in the game, man. There's no way to... I would have to build all of those things by hand with, like, planks, which is not... There's no way I'm doing that. I'm adding old factories for sure. Also, the vibe of the map is that the war has been going on for like eight years or something, you know? Everything is gonna be war-torn. Busted bunkers and stuff. You know, most of the military stuff you're gonna find is gonna be pretty destroyed. So the factories are definitely gonna be... Or like, imagine this, but a couple windows have sandbags and, you know, some stories are blocked off. I could still change a lot of stuff, but I can't really add a lot to it, you know? I just don't know how. I just don't know how to add models. Maybe there are skate parts. Yeah, nothing... Well, there's gonna be some stuff that's in good shape. Like, I can't really destroy these apartment buildings. But most stuff is gonna be like this. Like some broken buildings. This building right here is untouched for some reason, you know. Still has some stuff in it, but not a lot. And... yeah, a lot of rubble, a lot of ruins and broken buildings and maybe some overgrown stuff, but not a lot of stuff is gonna be in good shape like this house. Most of the stuff is gonna be broken. Destroyed aircraft. I have a couple destroyed vehicles in it already. Like a tank that got taken out by a big bomb, or there's an area that has a broken LAV that's, you know, like he tried to get through one of the barricades and then he got stuck on the trench and then they destroyed it. You know, stuff like this. I have to dress it up a lot more, but that's always fun to kind of think of and create. A little dump for other broken vehicles. Also, if I'm not mistaken, there's a part of the trench where I just use broken vehicles as cover. Because it looked nice. Yeah, like this truck tried to do the same thing and he didn't make it. There's a lot of places that still need to be dressed up a lot better, but... destroyed vehicles and destroyed aircraft for sure. I also have a broken, over here. Or it's on the other side. Yeah. There's like a helicopter that crashed into the side of the building, but you can see the path of destruction. You know, right up until the impact, like little impact crater. Jesus, this music is, snazzy. But yeah, that's the main gist of today's stream. I've explained how to build the trenches and stuff. It's pretty easy, but it's just tedious, time consuming. Just give you a little run through here before I leave in a minute, because it's almost midnight here. But yeah, this is like the entrance or the exit. Depends on how you want to... Depends on if you're attacking or defending, I guess. Underground bunkers. I do have a couple bunkers, and they do go into the ground, but there's no real system on how to tunnel, you know? Can't really do tunnels that well. But there are, I can show you the bunkers. The bunkers are like prefabricated. No, in game the color of the grass is gonna be a bit different because it's just using the color of the satellite picture that I made. But the trenches will be like this in game, yeah. The grass is gonna be different, and I still need to put like sandbags and stuff, but this is the map. Yeah, this is what it's gonna be like in game. I was gonna show you the bunker. Like right here. You can kind of place these lower, but if you place them underground, then you're gonna have like the concrete is gonna clip through the floor and is gonna break the game. But right now, there are bunkers, and you can go in them. It is really dark. See, I put some stuff in here. The toilet. A place to sleep for the boys, you know. A toilet for cows. Cover your ears. Generator in here, or whatever that is. Some crates. A lot of trash on the floor. But yeah, you have to get into this bunker to get to the next part of the trench. So these bunkers are going to play a big role. But yeah, this is what it's like in game. There's a lot of foliage, but... barbed wire. I'm hoping to have a playtest version soon. I was kind of over... How do I say this? Kind of like overperforming in the beginning. Because I started off doing like... 4 sections of trench, and then I dressed it all up, you know, put all this stuff in here. But I think it's better to just build the trenches first and then do the dress up later. Is the game player versus player? Yeah, it's Arma, man. You can play versus people. You can make it so you can play versus bots. You could even do like 3 teams, so it's player versus player, and then you have bots that are like a third team that attack anyone. It's all possible. It's all doable in the editor, but I'm just doing maps. I don't know how to do anything else. And then, of course, this is my first map I've ever done. So I'm still learning how everything works as I'm building it. But it's coming along nicely. I just need to, you know, I need to consistently stick with my schedule. Otherwise, it's going to take a whole lot of time, and, you know, people procrastinate a lot. So, of course, there's some of that going on as well. And then combine that with the other projects, and, you know, will there be more maps in the future? You mean, am I going to make more maps in the future? Or... Because there's a mod workshop with a lot of mods on it. There's a lot of maps already out there. But yeah, I guess if this is something that people enjoy, or maybe they're like, please don't do any towns, and just like, let's say I take 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer and I just make one massive trench system. Maybe people are into that, you know, smaller scale, more trenches. That's possible too. But I'm having fun with this so far. I'm sure I'm gonna do more in the future. Of course I'm gonna host a server for this. So it might just be like a map rotation, you know? If I have multiple maps and the guy that makes the the game mode is like, I want to add the other map to the mode as well, then I'll be like, alright, fine, here you go. This is crossplay. Yeah, this is my server is definitely gonna be crossplay. I'm not sure if you can disable crossplay at all, actually. Maybe every server is crossplay. But yeah, Arma is crossplay right now. Because I have a friend, IRL, that plays, he plays PS5, and we've played King of the Hill and stuff like that together, so it's definitely doable. I just hope it runs well on console. I've been, you know, you want to add so much detail into every single bit. Like, for some reason, I made a cemetery over here. I don't know. That's not how war works, but, you know, you just, you add stuff. A wheelbarrow with some shovels, and then all of a sudden, this empty spot is just filled up, you know? Plus, people can sit behind here. This thing is good cover. It stops bullets and RPGs. But yeah, crossplay for sure. I don't have a time frame set just yet on when it will be finished. Console players' games don't explode. Yeah, who knows, man. They can put on, like, performance mode, right? I just hope everyone gets stable FPS and stuff, not only console players. Because if it's too much for most people's PC, then I'm gonna have to tone down the detailing a lot and, like, make the forests less dense. And I already did some height stuff. Like, if you're right here, I made this hill the size that it is so that you don't see the other trench system. Blocking off sight lines like that is great for keeping performance up. But then again, there's loads of trees everywhere. Like, everywhere. And I haven't even finished. Like, right here is probably gonna be trees and fields and stuff. There might be something in the middle, you know, something that has a bit of height. Like, just enough to maybe see over these trees or something, you know. What is Mountain Wars? Like, actual mountain? Oh yeah, you can sculpt whatever you want, man. You can make it as large as you want, make it very peaky, you know. The world is your oyster. You can paint this in a certain, like, let's say you want this to be rocks. You can paint this as a rock, and then it's fucking ugly, but, you know, if this is what you want, then you can do that. So Mountain War is definitely doable. Let me just smooth this out again. There we go. Processing terrain. Alright. So I smooth out the big hill. Now it's just a little bump. I might add, like right here I have this dirt road. I might add a branch off that goes all the way to the edge. Just so people have a way to flank around, you know. Yeah, in this map, I can't really go up too high with buildings. I think this is like the highest point I want to be at. Because you can already... there's no fog or anything on the edge right now. So if you wanted, like right there, you can probably make out the edge of the map, which is all forested off. But if I go up too high, you can see over the edge, and that just breaks, you know, breaks immersion, I guess you could say. But like right here, this is a good vantage point for the trench system that's gonna come up over there. It's gonna go over here, right? So up here would be a good vantage point for a marksman, or maybe an engineer with a RPG or something. There is some height, you know. I have to do at least a couple spots where people can just look up and look at this apartment building and be like, oh, that's probably a nice spot to sit on top of with this scoped rifle or whatever. So right here, you can already see the trenches that I have planned out right there. They're going to be totally visible from this spot. I might have to move some trees up to block certain sight lines, but I'm okay with this. Also, the road right there, if someone were to push that road, it's pretty easy for you to just mount your gun on here, scope in, and just take out the driver with, I don't know, some magical precision shot. So will that place be a place? This is definitely going to be a spot that people are going to have to fight over. But then on the other side, once you've played the match like 2 or 3 times, then you know you're going to have to keep an eye on this spot. Because if we go over there, let's say these trenches are all built out, right? And you're running through the trench right here. You could easily just duck and not get shot at. But if you do stand up, you have a nice view of like the top floor, the roof. Same for that one, the roof, and like a couple windows of the top floor. So you could easily just fight back. There's no real place of power unless you have like a high level weapon, you know? Arma is like that, because there could be someone all the way at the edge of that tree line over there, which is way too far for this rifle and iron sights. But if they have a sniper scope and I'm standing up right here, I'm dead. Definitely dead. There's no way I'm surviving that. I don't know if you haven't played Arma yet. It's massively in scale. You could be all the way over here with a big sniper rifle and just take shots at this trench all day. Which could be followed by someone driving up here, going to the right, going into the trees, just to find you personally, taking you out, and then going back to the objective. Does Arma have campers? Well, it depends on the mode. There's no real camping in Arma. It's just you sitting there waiting for some idiot to come around the corner without looking. Like, let's take these buildings, right? It's super easy for someone to just go sit in them. And you don't even have to go up that far. Let's say someone's just like right here. If he knows there's people around and he's laying down right here, I mean, it's your own fault if you get killed by that. If you open the door and just barge right in, then that's your own fault. It's so easy to just throw a grenade or throw a smoke right here, you know? Ooh, that was loud. Yeah, that guy's dead from the nade. Or if you don't want to turn the corner, you open the door, throw a smoke in. Maybe throw a smoke in through a different door, or you hop this. Right? There's always some way to flank around. He can't see you. You throw smoke or a nade. There's no real camping, you know. Some bunker busters need to be made. I mean, if you're familiar with Arma Pilot, he's a big Arma YouTuber. Arma Pilot did a video recently about a new game mode, which is Theater of War. And if you watch this video of his, I suggest you all watch it, by the way. This video explains every single thing that's, like, not set in stone right now, but every single aspect of the game mode gets explained in there. And they will have call-ins, so you're not going to be able to fly planes in the game or whatever, but you will be able to, let's say you earn a lot of money in the game and you buy a, I don't know, like an airstrike laser designator. You could then possibly be all the way over here in the forest and be like, oh, there's like 10 guys on top of this apartment building. So you laser designate the top of this apartment building. A plane comes in, does an airstrike, they're all gone, right? Depending on the building, like some buildings that I have set up here, these are still destructible, alright? It's not... They're complete still, but if you do enough damage, they're destructible. So with enough power, I'm sure you can take down a lot of stuff. Also, some things like sandbags don't have infinite health, if I'm not mistaken. So if you put some C4 on a wall here, or maybe call in an airstrike on this big building here, stuff is gonna collapse for sure. I could turn that off as well, if I'm not mistaken, or just replace it with an already broken version. But yeah. It's definitely possible to take out people behind walls and stuff. Because already, if you shoot an RPG... I don't know if you know this, but... Let me see. RPG. If I put down an RPG here, and I shoot it at a wall, I can show you that you don't really need a bunker buster right now. You get an RPG. Let's shoot it at this wall. It's not like one hit. It's got 7 shrapnel parts. And those shrapnel parts make it through... Oh, that's more than 7. It's a bit more than 7. So this makes it all the way through, busted up all these windows on the doors. And then right here you can see it hits right through. So you already have bunker busters basically. I asked ChatGPT and it said there can be a bunker buster mod given what we have. And I want bunker busters because people should be making underground military bases, aka bunkers. There's no real way to make any underground bunkers right now though. You have to... There's like pre-made bunkers that you can use, but there's no real tunneling system, if you know what I mean. Like these things, this whole thing is pre-made. You drag it up and down, place it around where you want to have it, and then you can go into these, but there's no real... You can't really like build down under the ground, because that breaks the game kinda. But yeah, there are these bunkers, and I'm not 100% sure, but I can test it right now with an RPG. I don't know if you can bust through those with an RPG, but you should be able to, honestly. Let's see. It won't break the door, I'm sure of that, but it might just send the shrapnel through. We'll see. It was loud as fuck. Alright, 5 bits in. A lot of bits out. Ooh, yeah, RPGs do make it through. Even the bunker doors. You're never safe. Oh, one made it in here and one in here. So I'm sure if someone would have been standing right here, he would have gotten hit at least twice. Could you make a mountain in the game and just place it over it like in Iran? Like, what do you mean place it over it? Oh, you mean like sculpt the floor over it? Yeah, but the problem is once you get through actual floor, the game looks like this. So you're gonna have to block every, you know, it breaks your sight kind of. It's just not made for, you know, Arma is not made for underground fighting. Maybe if someone builds a prefab, you know, then we would totally be able to do it, but yeah. Right now, these are the bunkers that we have. Also, for this map, the focus is mostly the trench fighting. So it'll have bunkers in some areas, and some stuff is just gonna be blown up, random bits. Let me see what it's like to actually... Oh, I haven't cleared the roads yet. Maybe on the other side. I wanted to see what it's like to drive from one place to another. Thank you, man. Not even close to done, but it's great to see people are enjoying it so far. There's not even a playtest yet, and people are already giving props. Just wait till the... Yeah, see, so this is like one of the spawn areas. Let's say this is all very bushy right now because it's pretty bare. But you would spawn a vehicle here, get in. I don't know how long it's gonna take for us to get to the nearest objective, but we'll see. Let's say we're gonna go to the right here. This is the fastest objective you can get to. The roads that I have set up are not the best roads to be driving on. So they will send you to the left and to the right a little bit. They also bank. These are not like government-made roads. You're not supposed to be speeding constantly on these either, because there's trees and stumps and stuff everywhere. You're supposed to be careful, get to your objective, and then do everything else on foot. Some of the roads are going to be blocked off by rubble and stuff, like right here. You would go to the left. This is all going to be industrial, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the range on the cars is perfect. You could go really, really fast from one side of the map to the other, but with like broken cars blocking the road and like, how do you call it in English, man? There's like military checkpoints on the road, like roadblocks. Yes, roadblocks. Those are gonna hinder you as well. And then on these hills, people usually tend to slow down a bit in game, but you might just crash into stuff, that's fine. People have to learn to drive normally. This is the main road going north to south and stuff. We have these side roads as well. I don't intend on keeping the road this clean. Like right here is kind of bumpy, but that's fine, honestly. I don't mind it. And then here is the first roadblock in the middle. I'm gonna have more of these, but I made it so that you can still navigate these with a normal car if you want to. which you shouldn't want to, but that's okay. Yeah, I haven't textured this, or I haven't texture painted this yet. But yeah, baby steps, of course. It's looking a lot more dense than it did like 20 hours ago. It's pretty symmetrical. I'm trying to keep it that way without it actually being 100% symmetrical. I just want it to be fair for both sides, you know. I don't want one side to get to objectives like 2 minutes earlier than the other ones, or, you know, some stuff has to make sense before it's like, it has to be usable before it's cool, if that makes sense. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. So patch, wait, let me check this. I put this in Discord. Here we go. So to anyone interested in this, patch 0.1 of this map is gonna be basically an internal work in progress build. Trenches are gonna be shaped, roads, forests, all that, dugouts, craters. Like a no rubble, no trench dressing anymore, no polish, just layout. Then patch 0.2 is gonna be the finalized layout. So all buildings are gonna be placed and locked, no further movement. Trenches will be fully dressed with cover, sandbags, crates, barrels, all that kind of stuff. Forest, road, and spawn areas are gonna be finalized, so I will have a trench system for each spawn as well. And that means the layout is gonna be frozen or set in stone, however you want to see it. 0.3 is gonna add a lot of rubble to the buildings. And I'm gonna do a terrain paint pass, which means I'm gonna remove all the grass from the roads and stuff. Add rubble piles, crater debris, destroyed props. Clear the dirt paths, add some like grass blending maybe. Different kinds of grass to make it, you know, not so mundane. And what else? Oh yeah, the storytelling, like broken vehicles, like this tank right here, right? You're on this road and there's like a random dirt road, which kind of looks, you know, kind of looks weird, and then you're like, oh, he never made it. Bro just died. Patch 0.4 is gonna be a final rubble placement and ruin placement in all the zones, so I'm gonna finalize all the broken stuff in 0.4. Key landmarks are going to be added, like possible sniper towers, or, you know, maybe maybe this town has like a city center in the residential area, like a little park that has, I don't know, some statues or something like that, and bushes. I'm gonna finish the terrain painting and foliage tuning. If there's some spots like right here, if I'm like, I want this to be more full, then I can drag over certain things and fill this up. Let me see, did I forget anything? Signs, road signs, yes. Because it looks kind of naked right now. It's just strange to see roads without any signage, and I don't know. It's gonna be basic. I'm not gonna do like give way to the right on everything, or it's gonna be a small town with people that have common sense. But yeah. Terrain barriers. So the edges right here, the edges are ugly as hell right now. It's just a big hill and then nothing. I might have to fence this off or, you know, do something to give it a natural barrier. Like right here I made tunnels, but it doesn't even make sense that they're full of grass, but it is what it is right now. 0.5 is gonna be one of the release candidates for sure. I'm gonna do like a final look at fog and settings like that, you know, like weather. Am I gonna give dynamic weather or is it gonna be the same every single time? Day and night cycle. Do I want this mode in a nighttime or do I want this map in daytime? I could just make two different versions and have them cycle through, or I just could make random weather and random weather, random time and random weather. It depends. Did I? Yes, I said that. Cleanup of floating props. This is gonna take a lot of time probably, just like kind of manually scanning through the forests to see if something is sticking out, which obviously I'm gonna need a lot of help with that, but that's definitely one of the playtest versions that people are gonna get feedback on. Final performance sweep across the map, that's also something for a playtest. I need people on Xbox, I need people on PlayStation, I need people on PC. Everyone has to play test this. The different Xbox versions, different PS5 versions. I need a bit of everything just so people can, I don't know, kind of drive through the map and tell me like, oh, this area right here is very laggy because there's a lot of foliage or a lot of buildings, so please edit that. And I'll have to listen to all you guys' feedback and just bundle it up and fix it ASAP. Bug fixes as well. The 1.0, the actual finished public release, is gonna be like everything has to be complete. The game mode has to be fully integrated and finalized. I'm gonna have to upload and publish the map, and then I'll be working on possible promotional stuff like trailers, screenshots. Maybe do a couple playtests in private and just record that and have like a epic moments montage or like a walkthrough of the full map, or you know, it depends. I'm still looking into that for sure. And then also everything I've said is subject to change. So I have a roadmap on Discord as well. I put that in there as well. Every bit of the roadmap is subject to change. Nothing is set in stone. And that's just because of the feedback I've been getting. A lot of you guys are really helpful. A lot of you guys give out like good tips, good feedback, good suggestions. That's basically all I need. I might switch opinions on some stuff halfway through and have to like redo a city block, or like if I'm thinking this strip is too thin, just make a field out of it with craters. I might change my mind on some stuff, you know, that's normal, that's fine. But yeah, I think that was it for today. I planned on doing an hour stream, but I ended up doing 2, so that's nice. I want to thank you all for stopping by. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a nice rest of your evening. See you guys later. Peace.